I used to rule the world, seas that rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone, sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king's dead, long live the king. One minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of sand, pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you've gone it was never an honest word. And that was when I ruled the world. It was a wicked and wild wind blew down the doors to let me in, shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I've become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate, just a puppet on a lonely string. Oh, who would ever want to be king? I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter will call my name, never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world. Hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name, never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world.
Hello and welcome to Sunday. Once again, my name is Zara and I ran so far away after last night's table read of the B movie. Okay, so I guess first things first. Yeah, we had a great big charity stream yesterday. It was a huge success, much bigger than anybody ever expected. And I don't know what the exact total was, but it was more than $1,800 that we raised. It was like 1820 or somewhere around there. So that's a pretty big deal. We're all, you know, infinitely thankful. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to everyone who showed up. Anyone and everyone who showed any kind of support. Everyone that was there. It was a lot of fun. It was very exhausting. Um, but yeah, it was a huge hit. Thank you again from the bottom of all of our hearts. Um, I am tired from that, but this is a fairly low energy game, so I figured this is kind of a good way to spend my evening. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what we were up to yesterday. As for the intro music, I've decided to forego the classical music that I was using because that's all getting copyright strikes on YouTube. Not strikes, but they're getting flagged for copyright. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for music as far as like the stream intro goes. I'll have to set something else up. I'm thinking of like redesigning some things again anyway. So I don't know. I'll figure something else out. But for the time being, I'll probably just go back to using weird mashups as the intro music for the time being because those got flagged less often. As for today we're going back to Sunless Skies. I have not, or no, I have played since last week because last week we had a real rough time. We had like a level 5 captain, I think, that we were doing pretty well with, and then they died, and I started a new captain, and they died, and then I started a new captain, and they died. So we've like regressed back down to level 2 and had almost no money to our name. So I did some off work or off-screen work to get some of our old money back. I haven't completed any quests or anything. I've stayed away from doing any sort of progression. I've just been going around basically collecting port reports and selling stuff, making some money. So I did that off screen. So we're kind of in a decent situation now where we can hopefully get something done. And on that note, oh, and I also wanted to say thank you, Mr. John Steele, for following. That was like 4 days ago, but it was a point that I was not streaming, and I haven't streamed since then. So thank you for that. But I'm going to go ahead and rip Sunless Skies open like a bag of potato chips. Not in a good way, like the way that you like tear them open and they go flying all over the room. Because that's probably how this evening is going to go. Hopefully not. Let's turn things down just a tad. Okay, so yeah, last time we had a lot of trouble. The only main things that we did with this captain in particular is we kind of got our usual quests started again. So we're currently playing as, I believe our title is Comrade. I think we're playing as Comrade Bell. We're only level 2. We're a revolutionary. So we got 400 bucks to our name, 400 sovereigns. That's my off-screen work. I also bought us a drill because last time we bought a canning tool and it literally never came up until we died. So, and we found like a million things that we could drill into, so I bought a drill instead. We got a few things to do, like nectar, ammunitions, and hours. Don't have any of them right now. I also picked up a couple new quests that we had seen before. So I've got the Hesperidian Siger quest going again, and the Retiring Filmmaker, I got that quest, and also a Settler who's going to Leadbeater and Stainrod Nature Reserve, which we haven't found anyway. So that's kind of where we're starting off with today's adventure. So that we need to go to 2 places. There is there's Hybris, which is northwest of New Winchester, or where is it? Or there's Lustrum that we also have to go to, which is southeast. So it's basically we're either going in either opposite direction, and I think I might go south because we might be able to find it a little bit easier. Because going north means we're pretty much going to have to like go right up into this quadrant, which might be a little risky. So I'm going to head down here. Maybe stop off at Carolum. Lust and Rum sounds like a good time. Sure does. I don't remember what kind of town Lustrum is. I don't know if I've ever been there before. I can't get up this way, can I? Oh, so I'm gonna head south. We've had this cryptozoologist with us for a while, so I might as well send her off. Go down to Lustrum and get her on her way. Full up on crew. We're in pretty good shape. It's said and done. Yeah, I guess just head right in there. I guess for anyone who wasn't around for the last stream, the Tacides now have control of the Reach. They are like the more revolutionary faction. They're fighting for like settler independence, basically, from the stovepipes, which are basically the government. The stovepipes used to be based out of Company House here, but they have now been pushed back to Port Prosper, so they pretty much only exist around Port Prosper now. here. It's the Icy Mists. I don't know what region this is actually called, but... Alright, this is freshly unexplored territory. Let's see what we can find. Bonnie Shepherds. That's a scavenger. I think. No, that is... I don't know what faction that is. UCE. That might be Tacites. That might be one of their bigger ships. Okay, so it said Lustrum was south-southeast. So we're basically looking kind of around here. So I might go this way instead. That's the deal with this game. Sounds like your character dies sometimes. What? Yeah, yes, it is basically a legacy game. So, like, you have a character and you level up and you gain progression. You've got stats and whatnot. And money and everything and supplies, but what happens is if your character dies, some of that gets transferred to your next character, who then retains kind of some of the legacy of your previous captains. So if you make a ton of progress and end up dying, then you don't necessarily lose everything. And also the map, you retain some of the map. Basically, if you get to a port, it kind of saves your map. Or maybe it's a port report that does it, I'm not sure. But if you die, then you end up retaining some of this map, which is important because if you start a new game, all of the locations of towns and stuff, other than New Winchester, is all random. So it's very important to have a map and know where you're going in this game. Because if you run out of supplies or fuel, then... fight this thing, but Scrive-Spinster. Oh, thank God. This isn't the more powerful version. Almost dead. Let the heat die down. I hate those things. So the Scrive-Spinster defeated. The splintered remains of the Spinster turn slowly. The skies are full of fluttering paper. It's as if someone brought confetti to a funeral. Send out crewmen with axes. Scrive-Spinsters were wrought from bronze wood, now popular with London train wrights and cabinet makers. Or recover sheets of parchment. They sew them into their coats and wigs, yellowed with age, blotched with mildew, splintered with writing. Who knows what secrets they may hold. I've actually got some bronze wood back in New Winchester in my safe, so I'm gonna get that experience. And that gets me a level up. So, as the Tacky Stovepipe conflict has been running over a few characters now, it has. Yeah, it's basically whoever you deliver your port reports to, that you collect from going to various places, you then turn them into either the Tackies or the Stovepipes, and then they kind of... the balance of power changes on that and some various other things. Yeah, Sunless Skies was the game that they made before this one, which is very, very similar, but Skies is a little bit less... it's a little more forgiving, and Sunless Skies was a very difficult game, but it's very similar. Same basic concept, just different setting. Okay, so we've got a level up. We are going to... what kind of skills do we need? So Reveal is kind of the main skill that we got going. Liberation Night. An interlude in red and gold. You lost your mind once. What are mirrors at? Mirrors are 16. That's not great. I think I'll go a spell in prison. The judge, stony-faced, condemned you to New Newgate, the stalactite prison of old London. It was thick as tar. Its cells were as small as pantries. How did you spend your days there? Served our time quietly. You notched each dismal day into the cell wall. You steered clear of the monsters and the meek they preyed upon. You dreamed of the day of your release. So that gives us more veils and a little bit of boost to hearts. And off we go. Oh, a crewman's observation. Your navigator sidles up to you. Here, you've been keeping up with the dailies, Captain? He unfurls a yellowing newspaper. Your passenger from Port Proster has her face splashed across the front page. Beneath an impressive and improbable list of charges, the Ministry of Public Decency is offering a hefty reward. A criminal, eh? No need for rash act. Your passenger is a wanted fugitive. She does not know that you know. A quick change of course back to Port Prosper is entirely possible. A swift extradition for her and well-deserved reward for you. Or you could continue on to her destination. Who knows? She may have reformed. You may be sympathetic. If she's on the run, she may be willing to pay handsomely for her transportation. Intrigue. I think I picked up a settler on stream before I ended last time. That settler ended up dying. It was just like a random event like that popped up that said, yeah, your settler's dead now. Also, it occurs to me that I'm kind of low on supplies, which is the opposite of good. Oh god, this was the wrong way. This could be bad. So we have a bank in Winchester that you can store items in, and then if your character dies, the new character has access to that bank vault, so you can still pull those items out if you want to use them. So I do have a couple things stashed away, just in case. Oh, that might be supplies. This might also spawn an enemy that murders me. I also sent my bat out accidentally, but it found a horror, which doesn't help us whatsoever. And we don't have the assaying skill, so we can't do anything with that either. Oh god, please leave me alone. I guess I must have found some supplies from that. Please leave. He's so much faster than me. Please. Where is Lester? Okay, Starman explorers defeated. Search for survivors. Gain random treasures. Perhaps the engine was transporting something valuable when the crew succumbed to star madness. Distressingly odored barrel. Oh. All breathe a sigh of relief when the coke is revealed, black and precious. The captain's truest friend. Wow, that is exactly what we needed. Thanks. I guess that was worth it after all. Oh no. No. Oh, that's a bad one. But also, I want to mine this rock. Maybe those things will fight each other. I'm getting out of here. Also, what the heck is this? I am around something horrifying, but I don't know what it is. This is what happened last time. Grim foreboding. What will become of me? Oh boy. Oh boy. Evasive maneuvers. Oh, that's a bat. I've never seen that enemy before. Help. Cantankerous placated. Okay, so this was the... I think this is the Cantankerous that I spawned. And it's dead now. Which is actually good. If we disperse the rubble, then we can lose some terror. Clear it out of the way. Terror. Not by much, but by some. Nope. Nope. I went right into it. Please, give me something. Strip her for repairs. Must escape that. So, yeah, I don't think there was anything like named in there, but it was the ruins themselves. I think is what the horror technically was. So we're gonna not go there again until we have a much better weapon. Oh my God, where is Lustrum? Another wreckage. I don't like those odds. More repairs, I guess. Wait, what's this? Requires the same. These ruins predate humanity. Their architecture is gargantuan. Their purpose is inscrutable. Okay, so Lustrum is southeast. So it's gotta be in here. Just has to be. Don't play with me, game. Oh, crackety. Civilization must be nearby. Thank God. Where? There's a rock I can mine. So if you mine rocks, you generally get hours. Barrel of unseasoned hours. Which is good, because we need those for one of our prospects here. Carolyn, which is... Well, Carolyn was nearby. It's not really anymore. Hello? Hello? Oh. An unexploded shell. An engineer has made an alarming discovery. An undetonated shell from a recent battle has penetrated your hull and lodged in a cavity under the plating. It's still there, buried in a nest of pipes. Oof. 19% chance to disarm it ourselves. 15% chance for our crew to do it. Or just leave it alone. We'll just leave it alone. We're full on hull. It's fine. If you can reach reach its central port before the shell explodes, you can pay to have it safely removed. Oh, thank goodness. Lost right on the edge of civilization. The frantic hustling heart of Lustrum, crammed with prospectors, peddlers, and purveyors of essential and occasionally legal services. Most businesses take place here, unless you're a dreamer seeking your fortune on the claim fields. Hoo boy. Well, they're selling chorister nectar here for cheap, which is something. Okay, first things first, we are going to need supplies. And fuel. So let's do that. Recruit the Fortunate Navigator. A Fortunate Navigator is thoroughly examining your engine's pipework. Crucial bit, this. Look how it's been maintained. Beautiful. Your stoker beams. That was me. A mid-flight patch too. The officers require a sign-on fee. $100 to get him. Increases our iron by 6 and our affiliation establishment by 1. He's not that great. He is very attractive. What? First officer. We would be getting him instead of our princess. I guess we would still have them both on board, but... yeah, I guess. You won't regret this, Captain. The Navigator pumps your hand. He's an Imperial, a people descended from ancient Mongolians and led by the Eagle Khan, whose technology opened the door to the skies. The passing Skyfarer tussles the Navigator's hair. For luck, the woman says with a grin. The Navigator rolls his eyes. She's from my last crew. They thought I brought them luck. I didn't, but I'm still a good hire. Okay, first things first. What was briefly a modest, pleasant town on the mother of mountains now runs on increasingly desperate dreams of riches. Fools sell their futures to the chance to mine years from the mountain's frozen sides. Sharper minds sell pickaxes, supplies, and the promise of a warm bed at the end of a bitter day's work. Write a port report. Ours are the new gold in Albion and the Reach. While Lustrum's fortunes remain, it is of interest to many. So much for the quiet retirement village that used to be here. The rush of prospectors has ripped the civility from the place as efficiently as the geodes from the side. The scars that remain are no less vivid. Fewer and fewer prospectors return to the geodes of ours, and the cost of processing them off-site grows every day. Still, for now, Lustrum thrives and offers the promise of riches for any lucky or industrious miner willing to come and risk everything in the snow and the mud. So we've got hours and years of things you can mine. Are there days and months in the mix as well? Yes. Well, okay, don't quote me on that, but time is a very weird thing in this universe. In especially Sunless Skies, that hours and years, yes, are literally things that you can mine out of the ground, and they are sold. They are highly valuable. And they are used in some fashion to keep time, because time is basically meaningless, and there's like a whole organization that deals with making sure that the clocks still run on correct time. It's very weird, and it's kind of unclear as to how it works, but that's That's the nature of the Fallen London universe. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do here. But we do have... What the heck? Right, a short-sighted cryptozoologist is the one that we wanted to escort here. So let's go to the claim fields. Actually, or do we have to... Maybe we have to talk to her. Oh, possessions. No. Okay. So we'll go to the claim field. The mountain slopes are veined with unmined hours the enduring Empress hungers for. They are dug from the stone as geodes, minutes growing within them like salt. Most geodes are the size of a walnut, but legend says Old Tom, one of the first prospectors, excavated a whole century the size of a whale. The mother of mountains stretches on almost forever, from its snowy peak down through the seemingly endless strata of lethal nebula gas. There we go. On the far side of the cliffs, the Windward Company's machines strip the rocky flesh from the mountain and cast its ore into the perpetual fire of their furnaces. Prospectors from Lustrum have to do everything the hard way, chipping away at their frozen, hard-won claims in search of precious hours. The mountain is treacherous. Most of the accessible parts are already staked out. Let's search for a claim. Conditions are harsh. The mountain seems to fight you at your every step. Ropes left behind by other prospectors coil around your ankles. Old boxes of supplies loiter under the snow, ready to trip you. It's almost impossible to tell the difference between one patch of land and another, never mind the value of individual claims. What you need is an hour harker, advises a passing hour harker. He grins. He doesn't have many teeth, but those that remain are capped with gold. Come find me in town if you want. Or not. There's always more of you showing up, eh? Attempt to climb the mountain for 15% chance. Let's not. That seems like a bad idea. Let's go back to town. Sweet Jane's counting house, a little accountancy firm snuggled in the snowy drifts. Sweet Jane oversees everything herself. Transference of funds, the balancing of probabilities, the transport of commodities, the termination of contracts. She is huddled behind her desk, swaddled in a monstrously ugly red scarf. While she fiddles with her abacus with one gloved hand, she heats her other over a little coal fire. Her one good eye focuses on you. She smiles. Listen to Sweet Jane's offer. She surveys you alarmingly. I don't like this icon. What do you got to tell me, Sweet Jane? She limps to the window. Snow batters the window pane. The shadow of the mountain is all but lost in the blizzard. The lantern light means the offices of the Windward Company are just about visible. I was raised by the company. Children are faster workers, you understand. Her fingers drum on the windowsill. Such a waste. Where they see men, they see labor. Where they see time, they see chains with which to bind us. But where they see death in the skies, I see victory. She turns to you and smiles. Bring me nameplates, torn from London's ships. I will see you adequately compensated. So, the London locomotives, I don't know. I don't know if those are stovepipes. Those might actually be locomotives in Albion, which is the area where London itself is. Which we do have to go to eventually, but that I don't really want to do that. That seems dangerous. Sweet Jane turns back to the window and stares at the dizzying snow. Understand on this matter, I have no pride. It is too important. The offer will be open if you change your mind. Thanks, Sweet Jane. Okay, what else do we have to do here? Seek a claim of our own for another. It'll cost 100 sovereigns to stake a claim if we find one. Visit the Windward Company. Tensions between the company and the Tackities grow by the day. The poison air coming from the Windward's processing factory is only the latest insult. The Windward Company was not the first to begin harvesting the mountain, but no other name came in harder or faster once the hours were detected. The company began by bribing prospectors to sign over successful claims and even offering to help process lucky prospectors' hours in their huge factory ovens. But netty men are cheap, and big sticks even cheaper. As the claims began running out, things changed quickly. Now the whole facility is out of bounds. The guard is uninterested in any business you might have. No, she does not know who you are or care who you might be friends with. This branch is a closed facility. Certainly, it is closed to you. I look forward to if you can become a privateer. That's kind of what we are, basically. Like, we don't really work for anyone. We've been turning our port reports into the Tackities, but we're not really doing any business for them. We don't have any reputation with either side, which is good, because if you start getting negative reputation with one of them, their ships will start attacking you. Let's explore. Your boots crunch through the snow, clean and bright, lacking the lingering sadness of London's suffused lacquer. The townspeople nod politely to you, a distinguished visitor, but avert their eyes from the grizzled prospectors and get-rich-quick merchants who have taken over their slice of civilization on the mountain. They wait impatiently for a day when the mountain has nothing more to offer and the uncouth invaders finally leave, hoping that something still remains when all of value has finally been plundered. Aww. Murgatroyd's Golden Tea Shop. Some come for the fine teas, others for the carefully prepared manila folders underneath the counter. All agree that the scones are divine. An oasis of London civility and culture in a town with little of either. Melusine Murgatroyd stands proudly behind the display of fresh scones and slightly yellowing cream buns. At small wooden tables, successful prospectors and their significant others welcome themselves to the world of the nouveau riche with a spot of afternoon tea. Pinky fingers stand proud and erect from bone china cups covertly topped with moonshine. Enjoy a lovely cup of tea. Time for tea. $5 for a cup of tea. Let's do it. Melusine's maids hurry around, serving clientele more used to bellowing at bartenders than sitting politely with exquisitely cut cucumber sandwiches. Eventually, it is your turn to be served. You are invited to choose your preferred blend. Empress's Favor, Eleutherian Gold, or Indulgence Blend, straight from the Blue Kingdom. Let's go with gold. It looks like tea with the occasional sparkle. A single sip and you feel slightly dizzy. 2 sips and you struggle to find your legs. The sense of pleasurably disconnected bonhomie lingers for a few hours. Hey, we have sampled Eleutherian Gold. You can't just grind tea flavors. Gotta wait before we have another cup of tea. But we can speak to Melusine. She single-handedly runs both the family business and the family business, unless you count the small gaggle of overworked and underpaid maids, which Melusine does not. Smelling faintly of burnt hair, she tinkers with the latest invention that intended to be her ticket out of both this no-horse town and her father's control. Eyebrows, she confirms, are a small price to pay for scientific progress. Her workshop is slowly taking over the back room of the saloon. What's going on in there, Melusine? Melusine glows with pride as you examine her mostly untested inventions, the clockwork lens array that offers superhuman levels of telescopic sight, provided you can insert all 6 sharp brass hooks under your eyelids. The internal combustion privy, ideal for handling unpleasant waste productions and harming whatever's left of your house after the inevitable explosion. An automated pickaxe capable of striking the earth 7 times a second. Melusine nods, irritated. Pity about the minor bone-shattering issue. The only thing she won't let you poke at is a twisted arrangement of glassware and electricity in the corner. That's not mine. Not entirely. I'm still working on it. Complicated. You know if you know. If you don't, I shouldn't say. Weird. But good to know. We are not here to find the singing caves. but we can't go to the Hangman Pub. An embossed plaque under that hastily painted sign reveals this miner's pub to have once been the Empress's Lustrum guest house. Its once fine mahogany tables and chairs now a little bit sawdust on the floor and a lingering smell in the fireplace. Irritable miners jockey for space by insufficient fireplaces. They pay for the overpriced drinks with their dwindling coins or lowest quality hours. A few fortunates bear the mark of miner success, baby soft hands that come from regularly handling unseasoned hours. Oh, I don't have... There we go. I had my cursor turned off on the stream. Buy a round of drinks for the miners. Approach the figure in the corner. Speak with a weary prospector. That will purchase a claim that can be best described as adequate. You may have better or worse luck seeking out on your own for 200 sovereigns. No. Recruit the Rat Brigade. Oi, down here. 3 rats glower up at you from below a table, where their split beers trickle down to form a rat-reachable puddle. We got these guys last time. Yeah. Cinders, Petronella, and Albrecht. Rat Brigade. Yeah, we got them last time. We ended up having to spend like $100 to recruit them last time or something like that. But I guess we found them in Lustrum this time, and they're willing to come aboard for free. Or maybe it's because we have a revolutionary background and that they joined us because, well, I guess our title is Comrade. I just assumed that they were socialist rats. Anyway, welcome back, Rat Brigade. How much does it cost? Prospectors are not trusting people. Let's approach the figure in the corner. The cloaked figure beckons to you. Valuables for sale. It wheezes, its voice throaty and high-pitched. Oh. Exchange for buried time, yes? Please? It offers unusual relics in exchange for a few rusty coins that would barely buy transport anywhere else. Mr. Pennies. Exchange hours for an otherworldly artifact. Exchange your hours for money. Ooh. Introduce the short-sighted cryptozoologist. There we go. She's traveled a long way to meet this particular curator. The cryptozoologist beams with excitement. Oh, I have so many questions. Where does your species come from? How did you learn to speak English? What do you call yourselves? I mean, it can't be curator in your own language, right? What's the difference between a master and just a mister? No offense. Oh, what do you look like under that cloak? Are there female curators? She lifts the now terrified-looking Mr. Penny's hood and squeals. You're adorable. How do you fit those wings in there? And you leave her to it. She seems happy enough. Mr. Penny's, perhaps not. The short-sighted cryptozoologist is gone. She paid us $100, and we gained an otherworldly artifact. Let's talk to Mr. Pennies. The miners try to ignore it, but it must have some reason to bother setting up its stall here. Everything ends, the figure wheezes. Even law. For everything, a reckoning. Need help. Need hours. Postpone reckoning. Shadows with thistle ropes and broken wings, waiting on riverbank to catch final breath. Everything dies. Must outlast. We trade, yes. Trade hours. We trade hours now, yes. Good quality merchandise. You know what? It's probably not even worth it. Because if we bring these hours up to Carolyn, they'll give us 150 sovereigns each for up to 5 barrels. So I'm just going to hang on to these for now and swing by Carolyn on our way back up. Sell them there, get even more money. And since we just got paid, let's buy up a round of drinks for the miners. An elderly prospector and a hulking, scarred miner move aside to give you just enough space to squeeze in. Everyone seems to be talking shop. More importantly, everyone at this table seems to have had at least some luck out there. Let's gossip about them out. Those newcomers reckon they've got it made, digging in the mud. Don't realize the geodes is cold, do they? Hardens the muck. If you're not breaking your back, you're not doing it right. Serves them right for thinking a claim is just out of town's going to pay out. Alright. Street. Okay. So this is where we hire the hour harker to go and find our claim, which we can do for $100. You know, we just got paid 296. We're gonna swing by Carolyn. We're gonna get even more for dropping those hours off. So yeah, let's do it. Stay close, friend, warns your hour harker. He grins. Or not. You've paid already. He lights a vapor lamp glowing purple like the gases in the nearby nebula. It occasionally sparkles with a little flecks of green. Soon enough, the lamp is the only light as you move out to the treacherous, mostly unclaimed edges of the mountain. Occasionally, he stops to sniff, or to drag a foot through the snow and mud in what looks like a line. Finally, he seems satisfied. He shoots you a mostly toothless grin as he lights a cigarette. Reckon this has your name all over it. What do you think? Oof. The mud is soft here under thick snow. There's no vegetation to be seen. Many claims have been staked here and their hours continue to work them. No, reject this claim. The good claims are running out quickly. This could get expensive. If we search for a claim, do we have to go get the hour harker again? Yeah, we do. Okay. Whatever. We'll come back. This is something that will require more money, I believe. But for the time being, I think we have done what we need to down here in Mustrum. So it looks like we could probably... I don't want to go near those ruins again. So we're probably going to go up and around to get to Carolyn. Then, if we want to turn in the settler that we have, we could swing by Port Prosper, turn them into the authorities, or then we would have to go north-northeast, which would probably be up here to their destination. But anyway. For now, we go to Carolyn. We can turn in these hours that we've got, maybe find some more along the way. Hopefully. I don't know what that was. I don't remember if that was a rock I could mine, but I don't want to risk it. Keep moving. Press forward. I have to say, there is nothing like the existential horror that you feel when you get to a big open area in this game. And there's no walls that you can see, there's no background, it's just empty space. It just does not feel good. That is the one atmosphere that these games do best, is making you feel just not right. Is there something I can mine up here? Ooh, there is. Uh-oh, wind. Money. This drill has already paid for itself. Unlike that stupid canning tool. The canning tool is really useful if you end up fighting a lot of those cantankerous monsters, or if you keep finding like the resource nodes that you can use it on, because they can give you free supplies. What's this? An abandoned signal box. Window cracks have accreted a filling of moss green dust. Once white paint is yellowed and peeling, the signal box possesses a faded dignity, like a beleaguered butler. It was designed with pride to be a part of that great folly, the Isambard line. Inside beneath a desk covered with rusted levers, is a luggage trunk. Captains in dire need can borrow from the cash inside, but custom dictates they must later replenish it. Recruit a fatalistic signalman. You detect a whiff of cigarette smoke as you enter. A man in a gray uniform and a gray bowler rises from a chair. Evening. I don't suppose you're looking for a signal. He does not sound hopeful. How long has he been waiting here? I don't actually have a signaler. But, how much are you... Oh, okay, you're free. He's startled by your response. Oh, right. Was expecting you to say no, to be honest. You ask what he was doing here. I work the Isambard line. The last one, I suppose. Hitch riders between the boxes, make repairs, sweep up a bit. But I could do with a change of scene. Seems unsure. Well, I'd better get my things together. He picks up a modest holdall and checks his hand on his head. Yes, I think that's everything. After you, comrade. Okay, I can't do anything else right now, but we will definitely be using him as our signaler. Read the ledger. Captains who withdraw from the cache should note their name and ship and what they took. Occasionally, they add anecdote. The handwriting is poor, but legible. Captain Smith withdrew from the cache, citing desperate measures. There is a column for miscellaneous notes. The captain details various damages done to their engine and their causes. Hull, aggrieved cantankery. Backplate, bad launch off Port Prosper. Front plate, bad landing on Port Prosper. Hull again, Jones. A change in personnel gives the captain optimism for the next leg of the journey. I got 2 sky stories from that. Wow. Alright, so we can raid the cache, and I believe that will give us supplies. Fuel... Okay, so yeah, it'll basically, like, we might be able to get, like, either fuel, supplies, or hull repair, but really we don't need to, and I don't really have that much intention of coming back here anytime soon to replenish it, so I'm just gonna leave. This place was a folly. The Stokers worked vigorously. This place makes them yearn for the riotous camaraderie of New Winchester. Alright, let's, Oh, I don't think I can appoint officers unless I'm in port. That is... I do believe so. Let's talk to the rats. The Rat Brigade has made a mess of your galley. Straw, bits of blanket, and patches from damaged uniforms have been gathered into a makeshift nest. In contrast, tiny notebooks, battered derringers, and hip flasks that are not as small as you might expect are stored with care, stacked in a corner away from prying hands. Talk to the Rat Brigade. Why do they need a locomotive? Perhaps sharing a confidence of your own will encourage candor. Or spend time with them. Let's spend time with the Rat Brigade. They're playing cards. Cinders is cheating by means of mirrors concealed in the sleeves of her uniform. A spring-loaded trap, a brazen card counting. Albrecht and Petronella have devised a surreptitious drinking game around each new display of bad sports ratship. These rats. Okay, let's talk to them. We'll give up our salon, or our savant secret. Cinders lights a cigar. Our Sarge kicked the bucket in the blockade, but the night before he told each of us he'd left us something in a vault. Old sod must have been loaded. Thing is, we need to get his account number to get it. He gave part of it to each of us, so there'd be no thieving, hence our predicament. That last mission, our lieutenant sold us out. Half the squad died, the rest scattered. We took the numbers off the dead, but we need to find the survivors of the company. Between us, we have the number, and we still have to find the vault. Cinders grinds her yellow teeth in frustration. Sarge kept some stuff at Carolyn. Doubt it's the vault, but it might be a clue. She cocks her head. 50 sovereigns for a trip to Carolyn, then. Sounds good. That's where we're going anyway. Albrecht about Sarge. They're on a quest because of his bequest. What was it like? How did he die? Albrecht is polishing his claw. Sarge casts a long shadow. He assembled us here at the start of the Winchester War. Okay, he's actually German. The best fighting rats who came through the avid horizon. He made us a unit. He adjusted whiskers. But we had no respect. We were expendable. To get better contracts, we had to be respectable. So he found a rodent of officer class to lead us. Part hamster, I think. He sighs. And that's where it all went wrong. He lapses into silence, and will say no more. Okay, Rat Brigade. We still don't have a tale of terror, so we can't talk to the princess yet. The incautious driver. Sure, let's gamble with them. I know we've done this one before. Care to make a wager? Oof. Maybe not. I'll let the game continue. Oh, am I that quiet? I'll try adjusting my microphone a bit. I think it might just be me in general. Okay, so I know we listened to their suggestion before. Can't keep anything from you, I see. I've been feeling a bit on edge. Would like to make myself useful if I can. There's races at the Royal Society. Maybe we could go there and you could drop me off for a bit. Make us both a bit of money. Well, on secondment. I'm pretty sure I err on the side of being quiet. I know I am just a quiet person in general, but okay. Let's talk to the hot Navigator too. He's rarely in his cabin. He's popular with the crew, and card games and drinking sessions occur spontaneously in his presence. He is, of course, never the instigator. We don't have any tea, so we can't get to know him, but we can talk to him. I'm settling in nicely, thank you, Captain. You've a good crew here, and a sharp one. The Navigator has already visited every crew member at their station. Alright. Okay, so we're heading to Carolyn. Both because we have hours to deliver and because the rats want to go there. And anything that the rats say goes on this ship. Ship? Train. Locomotive. Whatever they call it. Whatever the appropriate term is for something in this universe. Dark and peaceful here. The stars are few. So, it's actually been a while since I've been back to Carolyn. I don't think this character's ever been here, actually. Carolyn is a town that is run by devils. That is not a euphemism. They are literal devils, supposedly, from hell. Bizarre. Okay, so they are buying barrels of unseasoned hours for 150 sovereigns each. We have 3, which gets us a clean 450 sovereigns, just like that. they're also selling chorister nectar, but for a lot of money. Buy some supplies. Okay, so we'll travel around Carolyn. Carolyn is broken into terraces where most of the soul treatments take place. Some are easier to access than others. Let's try to explore. Before you can take the first step towards one of the terraces, a devil blocks your way. Not yet, I'm afraid. You must have permission from the presiding deviless. Some of our procedures are exceedingly delicate. We need to be certain you comprehend what you're seeing. Sure, we get $150, but it helps the Windward Company. Those guys sound like jerks. I mean, it doesn't directly help them. I don't think it, like, as far as the game mechanics go, it doesn't really help them. So, don't feel too bad. Write a port report. That's what we need. Ask about Sarge's stuff for the Rat Brigade. You are directed to the presiding deviless. Her record-keeping is immaculate. If Sarge left something behind, she'll have made note. She glances up when you enter her office. On noticing the Rat Brigade, her eyebrows rises a fraction. We've never satisfactorily answered the question of rodent souls. How can I help you? She addresses you and ignores the rats. It transpires that the deviless is able to locate Sarge's file remarkably swiftly. She does not hand over the slim folder, but reads it in silence. There, I knew he'd specified something. That those who came looking for which he entrusted to us must first undergo penance, to avoid repetition of his mistakes. You'll require a shift in perspective that can be gained in the checkerboard garden. All right. Let's... I guess we can't really... Yeah, we gotta go talk to the presiding deviless. She's an artisan of souls. She works in an office shaped like a beehive. Greetings, comrade. How may we stretch, strain, purify, and strengthen you now that you've come to Carolyn? Assist the Rat Brigade by donating souls to the presiding deviless. Sod penance, you just want to get Sarge's stuff and leave. Nah, we don't have that. You've been cleansed of Sarge's sin. The Rat Brigade looks almost contrite. Provide an exquisite insight. We need a lot of stuff for that. Okay, let's go back to the center of Carolyn. Can't do that either. Not much we can really do here. Let's go to the foyer. Oh, that's where we were. Can we travel around yet? Okay, I guess we do need to actually speak to her. Let's ask her about Carol. Okay. Okay, so this is what we did last time. We've become an initiate. So now we can go back to the center of Carol. Now we should be able to travel around. Or not. Ugh. What's this overgrown shrine? A path leads you to a broken statue, seemingly ignored by the devils of Carolyn, except for whoever placed the freshly lit candles at its feet. The face is poorly carved, but its features unmistakable. The burrower below stares at you through one gemstone eye in an empty socket. Contemplate the statue. Or steal an offering from the burrower below. Apparently we have the attention of the burrower below. We are watched. We unlock this, so we can steal an offering or contemplate the statue. Let's contemplate. Okay. Terror falls. While the statue is the raw material of nightmare, there is something soothing about the idea that even a beast like this might be harnessed. That there is a chance of such an ally for those who crack the code of offerings and prayer. Whether it is actually listening, it is impossible to tell. The thought that it even might, however, is something to hold on to in the dark. Let's go speak to the presiding deviless again. See if we can get any more. One should not enter if one does not know how to leave. Most people go home again, she says. Some find that they are weary of their souls and pass them on to us. We operate on that slender profit and on what we can get from donations, or from the sales of penance and forgiveness. She looks at the blank page before her. But what about you? You look sturdy enough to make full use of our services. What are you afraid? Are you afraid of needles? What is your view of worms? Which do you fear more, venoms or poison? She takes down a page or two on all of your least favorite things. There we go. Listen to a proposal. This is what we did last time. You're free to make use of Carolyn. Take a penance or two. Alter your soul. Think you'll find our services very imaginative. There's another matter I hope you will look into. A devil in rose-colored gloves. He used to supervise the Gaslight Terrace. He was removed from that position, but I fear he may still not be entirely aligned with the objectives of Carolyn. If you find out anything about him, anything to his disadvantage, she looks grim, bring me the evidence. I will reward you. Deals with literal devils. Yep. Yep. They're polite, if nothing else. Alright, now we can get into Carolyn. So, okay, so for the rats, we wanted to go to the checkerboard garden. It is reached by a flight of wrong-sized steps. The risers too steep and the flats too narrow. But by the time you come out of the plane of the checkerboard, your calves are hurting. The devils are playing tricolor chess with some of the penitents. White pieces, red pieces, pieces the color of a flourishing wind. What is that? Around the edges of the board sit the patients who have already been captured or who were never part of the game to begin with. Consider the rubbery man. Alright, well, we're here to get a shift of perspective. That's what we needed to get the rat stuff. So, those who name drop, aim too high, who spend too much time in low company, who do not know their place, they wind up here. 60%? Yeah. All you have to do is wait. The White King endlessly told the anecdote about once having met the captivating princess. For the penitent's own good, he's being subjected to daily readings of the importance of knowing one's place. The supervising devil is distracted by the play on the chessboard. As for your punishment, it does not bear speaking of. For a month afterward, you see devils dancing in the corner of your eyes. Ugh. Consider the rubbery man. No one has dressed him for the chess game, or let him enter the board. He stands off to one side, tentacles squirming. He's surprised that you approach him. He moves to make room for you in case you are merely trying to occupy his space. When you speak to him, he offers you a squishy handshake. By various signals, gestures, and directions of his eyes, he indicates that he has come here looking for his place in the world. I have met a rubbery penitent. Let's ask him about the devil with the rose-colored gloves. The rubbery man holds up one tentacle, representing the devil with the rose-colored gloves. Then he holds up another tentacle. After a moment, he twists the two together. Are the tentacles meant to be kissing? Is that what that is? When you look blank, the rubbery man repeats the pantomime several times. Perhaps the devil has a lover. Perhaps the devil loves the rubbery man. Perhaps the devil enjoys exotic forms of dance. Good to know. Yes, that's pretty much the only reason that we're in Carolyn. But this is the first time that we've really done anything in Carolyn. The White Queen is captured just as you go, but there's no time to look back as the match in progress. Okay, so we've got this. Let's go speak to the Deviless again about our rat friends. Take the Rat Brigade back to the presiding Deviless. You've been cleansed of Sarge's sin. The Rat Brigade looks almost contrite. The presiding Deviless smiles at the unhappy expression of the rats. Much better. She passes over a single piece of paper from the Sarge's file. It smells of incense and jasmine. Hookah, Cinders explains. Sarge did like his luxuries. The writing is minuscule and brief. The vault is at the central office of Hallige's Bank. The account was opened in London, in the year before the blockade of New Winchester. The Deviless is already working on a new file. You have, apparently, been dismissed. Alright. Is that all that they... Oh, there's a new bargain here. A hawker sells the latest London pot boilers, flimsy mass-printed books with wood pulp paper, lurid covers, and fresh, gleaming ministry stamps. Ministry-approved literature for $70. Let's do it. Because not every port... So every port has... Well, not every port, but most ports have a shop that almost always will sell either supplies or fuel or both. But they won't necessarily buy or sell other things. New Winchester will buy and sell everything. So even though I don't have a what he's called again, prospects. Even though I don't have a prospect to deliver any ministry appointed literature, if I'm probably going to be going back to New Winchester here right away, I'll just sell these and almost certainly get at least some profit from it. Not as much as I would from a prospect, but I'll get some profit. So all right, let's get out of here. This place gives me creeps. I hear fighting. Oh, hey, it's one of these things. I can help. Oh, that would hit him too. Cantankery. They're easy to kill. And yeah, if I had the canning tool, then these things would be perfect. Oh. Because once you kill them, you can use your canning tool to get supplies off of the corpse. 38% chance. An uncanny specimen. Whatever. It's just dispersed probably. If nothing else, it's experience. Memory to the unknown rat. Or memorial, I should say. We haven't been there in a while. Let's go visit the unknown rat. And we'll go talk to the Rat Brigade when we're there. That seems thematically appropriate. Half expected it to screech to grow 3 times its size, 3 times its limbs to attack you. No, there's no real enemies that kind of pull that stuff on you. Cool. Free loot. Explore the captain's cabin. 100% chance. Do it. Salon's to gossip. I've gotten this one quite a few times before. But yeah, there's no real enemies that kind of like pull a fast one on you like that. Like most of the time when you encounter an enemy, it's like, you know, whatever it looks like. If it looks scary, chances are it's something you want to avoid. If it's big, then it's not good. But anyway, something is amiss. Things are out of place. Unexplained cracker crumbs on the pantry floor. The chief engineer's favorite wrench hung on the wrong hook. several empty pages torn from the back of your logbook. The crew protest their innocence and contribute their own stories. Vanished shoelaces, doors left open, oily footprints on a door frame. You have a stowaway. We don't have 3 Tales of Terror. Jeez. We don't have any of those. Well, wow. 27% chance. After an hour, an indignant stoker drags a sooty-faced urchin before you. Found her hiding in a supply crate in the hold. She had a right little treasure trove in there. Cutlery from the galley, Jones's Bible, and my best socks. He brandishes a horrible pair of socks. The stowaway picks her nose defiantly. The urchin wears an oversized skyfarer's coat, clumsily and drastically hemmed at the sleeves and tails. Her eyes are pale, accustomed to starlight. A model of old frostbite blemishes one cheek. When she speaks, her voice seems older than the rest of her. What is she? 12? 13? What are you doing here? A locomotive is no place for a child. She shrugs. Just catching a ride, she says insolently. I've been catching engines across the reach in Albion for years. I've seen half the sky, I have. Port Prosper to the Silent Saint, Skyhenge to Caroline. Well, we were just... whatever. We were just there. Ask her where her parents are. Probably a sensitive topic, but probably. What do you want? She's taken aback by the question. No one's ever asked me that before. Usually there's lots of shouting, and then I'm chucked off at the next port. She thinks about it, looking at the bridge. She's a good engine. Loyal. I'd like to stay, she decides, until such a time as I don't. Let her stay. She would be our mascot. A sky-worn urchin. Let's do it. What, actually? She salutes you inexpertly. You won't regret it. I can help out, like, I know my way around an engine, and I'm no stranger to the sky. I know stuff, I could teach you. Perhaps another time, you tell her. You shake her grubby hand and send her to bed. It's past her bedtime. Yeah. So now we have a mascot. Unfortunately, the mascot we had last time with our other good captain was the giant dog, which we have since lost. We could get it again. We would have to go back to... I think we got it out of Port Prosper. +1 heart, whatever that does. Heart is one of our stats. To those brave Ratis Faber who gave their lives in the early exodus to heaven. So, this is the memorial to the unknown rat. When you come here, it lowers your terror. For some reason, people like... there's some sort of reverence behind this rat. Which, I mean, I can get behind. But anyway, speaking of rats. They know the location of Sarge's vault. They don't seem to want to leave your locomotive. They need the numbers to the account. Where do they think they'll find them? The air is thick with the scent of jasmine. The rats have acquired a hookah pipe and are reminiscing over their lost Sarge. I hope it is a tiny, tiny hookah pipe. Albrecht twitches his immaculate whiskers. We need to find Vilma, our strategist, but it will be awkward. She was Cinders' paramour. There's a snort from somewhere in the nest. Albrecht continues. We lost touch with the others, but Vilma will know where they are. And when we open the vault, you will have a share, of course. The last I heard, Vilma was residing at Pertinence as a pet. Albrecht's expression speaks volumes. Alright, so I guess we are going to Pertinence, wherever that is. I've not discovered Pertinence. We've explored quite a bit of the Reach, though. We're getting to the point where we can see we've got a pretty good idea of where things are. marauders around here. I don't see any. Marauders don't scare me, kid. You wouldn't believe the things I've seen. I saw a giant bat that almost killed us. Returning to New Winchester. Yeah, I gotta go all the way around. Seeing literal devils. I mean, if we take her at her word, she has too. She's been to Carolyn. Although she might just be saying that because we were just there. I just realized I completely forgot to do something before we left port here at the beginning of the stream. Family doctor's here. She'll see us. First things first. Flowers for Titania. Okay, so we know where Titania is. They need verdant seeds. 5 sacks. Let's do it. What else? Yeah, so we bought the Ministry approved literature for 70 sovereigns. We can sell them for 100. So just like that. 800 sovereigns. I am going to take a look at some of the stuff we can buy here. I am thinking we buy ourselves some armor. That definitely seems like our best option. Getting another weapon might be good, but it also increases the amount of heat that we burn, which can make combat a bit more difficult. I'll buy the armor, because the armor is always good to have. Then go to our bank. So these are the items that I have stored in our bank. I stuck a gourd of nectar and 2 pieces of bronze wood, but we needed these to complete the clock in Port Prosper, so I forgot to take those with me when I left the port at the beginning of the stream. So I think I'm going to grab those now and we'll head over to Port Prosper and get that dealt with. We want to... I guess we should probably repair our locomotive. For 30 sovereigns, yeah, good enough. We're pretty much full on crew, so that's not what I need. Let's explore the city. Nope. I guess there really isn't anything else to do here. Well, I suppose buy some more supplies, and then I will drop off a port report with the Tackities, and then I will sneak on up to Magdalen's, get a port report, see if what they've got for sale, and then head down to Port Prosper. The one thing that's kind of fun about these games, Sunless Sea and this one, is it kind of forces you to plan your voyages a little bit. Because when you're dealing with, you know, limited supplies and fuel and cargo space, you kind of need to plan out where you're going to stop along the way. Deliver report reports. Yeah, got $200. Trade favor for a savage secret. We don't have any savage secrets, so it's probably a good idea to grab one just in case. I know in Sunless Sea it was much more necessary to like heavily plan your voyages because, I don't know, to me it always felt like you burn through fuel and supplies a lot faster than you do in this game. Oh, hold up. That's what I forgot to do. Port. I tried to see your family doctor, but there was no option for that in town. There we go. Now I can equip these. So the incautious driver gets us 2 hearts, 6 iron, and affiliation establishment. Rat Brigade gives us 6 veils, 2 iron, and affiliation of villainy. Let's go with them. That'll bring our veils up even higher, which is a good idea. She gives us 2 hearts and 6 mirrors, 6 iron, 2 veils. Yeah, sure. Oh, he also gives us 1 gloomy guidance, whatever that means. She gives us +1 heart. Alright. So if the stovepipes had more influence in the Reach, they would be located at Company House, and we'd be able to turn in port reports to them there. But they have long been ousted. I should be able to sneak through here. Hey, the Reichstad. I really enjoy the atmosphere and like the story, the world building of this game and the whole series, just because it's always felt like just the right blend of world building that explains what's going on but also lets you fill in the gaps, because there's a lot of stuff that is just not explained in this game, but it works. Seek unusual items. Or salons do gossip. We got a lot now. We got 5 of those. Could definitely use something else, but I won't complain. Oh. What is this? What is the lip icon? Something to crave. Goodness. Oh, it's a homestead. Yeah. Settlers who live so far beyond the edge of civilization relish the hardships of solitude. They will fiercely defend their small territories, but occasionally welcome company and trade. This homestead is almost hidden beneath a growth of wild, sprouting foliage, as if it were the victim of a fairy tale curse. The flora of the reach is difficult to tame, and the settlers that dwell here are struggling. We don't have any munitions, so we'll just leave. The one who lives in the wild is likely to welcome strangers. Ouch. Take that. We needed something for Magdalene's, I'm sure. Nectar. Which, we do have one nectar, but we're holding on to it for Fort Prosper. I know you can buy nectar from Titania, but it might not necessarily be on sale. You might not get a good deal for it. I think there was a deal for it down in Lustrum, which is unfortunate because that is extremely out of the way. Anyway, we'll stop by Magdalene's to resupply, get a port report. Write a port report. We've been here quite a few times. Oh, that's the other thing we were doing. Or have we done? Oh, we don't have that quest yet. We gotta talk to the amenable host. But we can't yet. Treat our terror. We barely have any terror. But I guess we could use one of our salons to gossip. The attendant nods solemnly. Congratulations, you are the last entry in the journal. He makes a note in a large red leather-bound book. Today's journal, at any rate. The attendant holds up a candle before 4 doors of mirrored glass. 4 of our staff are available today. Each has their own speciality. Their names are not yours to know, only their craft. He smiles suddenly, teeth gleaming like links on a chain. You know yourself best. Who can tend to your wounded heart? Whoever you need, you can find someone behind these doors. Someone from my past, a very boring individual. Someone who once meant a very great deal, or a former crewman. Someone who meant a very great deal. Yeah. The room is as you left it that last time. There stood, cigar in hand, facing the window where you left him. The smoke has stained the glass, thunder gray. They turn as you shut the door. Is that a list in their hand? They've been waiting some time for this. Okay, so I think now that we've actually used Magdalene's facilities, the amenable host will meet us. Yeah. We'll listen to his request. We've done this one before. He requests us to talk to a guest here about something, so we will go. We can do that. Deal with the lachrymose guest. Okay, so the last time we did this, basically we need to approach him as one of 3 people. We can either do it directly, disguise yourself as his mother, or disguise as his lover. I think the last time we did it, we disguised as... No, I think the last time we just went directly. We just talked to him. Let's will disguise herself as his mother. You look just like the faded de Guerrero type, down to the teeth. You gnash your jaws reflexively. The lachrymose guest's eyes widen as he enters your chamber. This is a mistake. I didn't ask for this. You never do you? You get to work. When it's over, you doubt he will be returning ever again. Alright. I did your dirty work. The lachrymose guest is gone. He sighs deeply, echoing around the chamber like a newly freed dove. Alright. So that was the same favor that we did last time. Let's see. Okay, so and then this is the request that he gave us the last time as well. He wants us... He doesn't know who his true identity is, and he wants us to find out. So we basically need to go to Lustrum, New Winchester, and Port Prosper and ask people about it. And hopefully we'll be able to find out who he was. And we got part of that done last time, but not all of it. Hours mined from the sky. Ooh, they are selling my hours. How many do I need left? 2 more. Perfect. Done. We'll buy some more supplies. And away we go. Wait. I don't want to go that way. That way is dangerous. Although we do have our armor plating now. So that's a plus. One of these days I'm gonna have to take a trip to Albion. Make a trip to London. That is the only other region of the game that I've actually been to. Because there's the Reach, which is where we are, the biggest one. Then there's Eleutheria, which I've never been to before. The Blue Kingdom, also never been there. And Albion, which is where London is. So there's quite a bit of stuff in this game. A lot of stuff that I've never even touched before. And I've put several hours into this game before. I've mostly just kind of hung around the Reach, going back and forth to places and trying to build myself up. Another homestead. You set down beside a pockmarked homestead with a holey roof and cracked windows. Its inhabitants have struggled through a bad year, and will find the next one worse. We could trade supplies for bronze wood. Unfortunately, we don't really need bronze wood. Sorry, guys. Supplies are more precious to us than bronze wood at this point. Yeah, there's a lot to do in the game, and it's definitely built from the ground up to be... hello. I don't know where you came from, but I will gladly put you out of your misery. Can we do... Yeah, see, if we had our canning tool, that would give us butchery, and we could do that. but as it stands, we can either get money or listen to its last complaint. Sounds good to me. The cantankery emits a long, flatulent eruption. It sounds as if someone had punctured a hippo. An engineer clears his throat. Once saw a herd of cantankery mob a scorn fluke. Must have been 24 of them. So furiously they impaled themselves on its spines to get at it. Gained a sky story. Just in case you ever wondered what it sounded like to puncture a hippo. It sounds like that. So, down by Port Prosper, these are where the stovepipes are. They have very big locomotives that are, like, terrifying to fight. I don't know if I've ever actually fought one before, but they're just big and they have a lot of firepower. But we're cool in their books. So, where were we? The clock tower. They plan to call it the Albert Clock in memory of the departed Prince Consort, but there's a way to go yet. The roof isn't finished, and the clock neither ticks nor bongs. You can see the fastidious inspector up among the workings with a spanner and a can of oil, showing the workmen how it's done. Deliver the materials. A cheer from the scaffolding. The foreman beams. An angel bringing gifts. Actually, you point out, you'll be needing payment. Ooh. You're paid extremely well for the delivery, and the foreman shakes you warmly by the hand. Won't take us no time now, he says with a grin. Maybe we should name the damn clock after you, eh? Gained 800 sovereigns. And gained 5 fortunes with the stovepipes. Port report. Most important thing to do. I guess while we're here, we might as well search for the amenable host's identity. Does he still wear his hair like that? Yeah, we've gone through this one already. Nobody seems to remember who owned it or why, but apparently it had once been associated with the Parlor of Virtue, established not long after Port Prosper's foundation. We have found no conclusive evidence. Attend a performance at the Gaudy Widow. Yeah, sure. Located at the edge of the West End, overlooking the bridge, the Gaudy Widow promises unpretentious delights for most of the family. Although out of fashion in New London, the broad amusements of pantomime and vaudeville still carry favor with the well-heeled of the West End, though they are, of course, careful to never enjoy themselves too much. She's behind you, a poster reads. What japes. An enthusiastic peal of bells rings over the rooftops. The Albert clock is chiming the hour. Enjoy yourself, or retain our dignity. 48% chance of success either way. Screw it. Enjoy ourselves. No. We failed to enjoy ourselves. Oh, you know this one. Was it adapted from the Menander? The jokes are certainly better this time, even if the historical accuracy is dubious at best. Locals strolled about the mushroomy vistas of Hybris and the floral exuberance of Titania without a care in the world, except for what dear old auntie back in London might think. And soon she too is on the stage, having come round on the starlit idol of the Reach. Your laughter is heard from the gods. Several notables stare at you pointedly. Ugh. Well, I'm welcomed by the impoverished Eastenders, which is all that matters. Let's see. What's in the bazaar? Oh, they are... Oh, no, they're buying the carefully packed crates of munitions, which we don't have. And they're selling literature. which we don't really need. Resupply. The parsimonious chairman, he is the one who asks for us to kill tackety locomotives and bring their plates in. He'll reward us for those. This is where the company house is now, so this is the guy that we turn our port reports into if we so wish. The Albion Transit Relay is the one that we go to if we want to go to Albion and potentially go to London. That'll zap us into another region. I guess there's no more exploration to be done. Explorers, adventurers, and pioneers gather here, freshly arrived from Albion. So we could return our settler here. They are a Crewman. Or we can potentially try to bring them to their destination, which I think is probably the better option. I don't want to be a rat, even though I have literal rats on board. They wouldn't want to be rats either, in the theoretical sense. Somebody's fighting something. Remember the ABCs, always be a comrade. Exactly. We're in this together. What are you fighting? Oh God. Please don't shoot me. I have no stake in this war. Please stop shooting me. I hate it when those jerks are fighting each other. Oh, an outbreak of the heart sickness. A mysterious outbreak of nostalgia is spreading through your crew. Frequently, they stop work to stare away into misty remembrance. They gather during the evenings to meditate on times gone by and debate the ways in which the past was superior to the present. The air is full of sights. 33% chance of success. And we lose one supply. Ugh. Succumb and write. No. Let's sit with the most afflicted, I guess. Listen to their tales of times past. It won't help. You might learn something. Nostalgia has lifted the veils that normally hide their hearts. They speak of the things they left behind, the things they regret, and the things they wish they'd done differently. Sometimes, as they wander amidst the mists of the past, they speak of the things they should not. Hey, we got a tale of terror. Which means... Excuse me, incognito princess. We can prove ourselves a fit confidant. Which we have done before. Yeah, I remember we did this in like the first stream that we ever did of this game. We find out that she is Queen Victoria's daughter. And... Be a delight to meet the engineers who keep the eternal ball of Perturance tick-tocking away. So we need to go to Perturance, which I have no idea where that is. But that is her quest. For the time being. We can swing by Carolyn and return the rest of these hours. Melusine starling in this game is similar in some ways to the same named bird of Earth, but also an eldritch monster. Well, it's weird. Like, the Fallen London universe is the same as regular Earth, but... Sorry, I can't speak of this place. This is... But the difference is that basically London was pulled underground at some point. It had something to do with, like, the queen or the king at the time made a deal, and then, like, a swarm of bats pulled the entire city of London underground and entered, like, a whole subterranean world. So, like, the surface world of, like, the original Earth is still there, or it was, but then London was also underground. And then the events of Sunless Sea happened, and then 10 years later, London is now in the space somehow. I don't know exactly how that happened, but London is now in space, and this is the setting of Sunless Skies. It's a little odd. But anyway, we've completed this prospect. Now that gave the stovepipes more fortune. Oh well. Okay. They're also selling Chorister Nectar, which we needed for Magdalene's, I think, but that's expensive. Whatever. In any event, write a port report again. Right, we need to get to Perderance for them too, for the rats. Okay. I guess I could go down to Lustrum again. I might need to at some point. Well, I do need to, but I think instead I'm going to whip over to Port Avon and then out to New Winchester. And maybe, just maybe, we can afford a new locomotive. Or at least afford a better weapon or something, some sort of better equipment. Hopefully something that will make life a little easier. Hey, fuel. It's been a while since one of those, like, supply nodes on the map was just straight up fuel or supplies. Like, I think every time I've played as this, every time I've found one of those as this captain, it spawned an enemy. I've had some... Well, I was going to say I've had some bad luck, but I haven't had nearly as bad luck as some of the previous captains. Those ones were... That was awful. I can't remember... I think it was... It wasn't the main one. The one that I had played, like, several streams with. It was one of the other ones that... I think we went to a wreckage and we ended up spawning another locomotive that had, like, eldritch tentacles coming out in front of it. An enemy that I've never seen before. And was much faster than us and just murdered us instantly. Kinda sucked. Such as the RNG. Port Avon. I like Port Avon. Feels nice here. Oh, this is where the Repentant Devil is too. Another, that's a Sigmar as well. Iron Veils. I'll leave him for now. Play a round of cricket. Yeah, sure. Nobody seems to remember how long this game has been going on, just that the score is now almost a formality. You play your part and points are scored, yet by the time you leave it's no closer to an end. Nobody seems to mind. It is, after all, cricket. Write a port for Port Avon. So Port Avon, I need to have a welcome to do stuff here. But I don't know if I really have anything to do here. Well, we could do this. Conduct a nocturnal excavation. Let's do it. Your spades are muffled, your voices are low, furtive hours pass. Hard labor is harder still when it must be done in silence. Eventually, your crew heave on a steel rod, prying a gap between two stones. Something glints within. Souls, trapped in lenses the size of soup plates and stirring irritably in the light. We got some souls. Let's go to the village green. Take a relaxing stroll around the village. Our terror is fallen. Yeah, we don't really have much else to do here. Oh, they are selling verdant seeds. Beautiful. That is exactly what we need. Titania, we need 5. They only have 3. Doesn't matter. I'll take them. Where do I need to go from here? I think I'll just go straight to Titania, and then I might go back down to New Winchester, because then I'll have more money. Might even go over to the circus too. Get all them port reports. So I'll load up on stuff before I go. Yeah. There's not really much else that I need here. So we'll go on, be on our way. I haven't been around that way yet, which is good. Get some exploration done. Take a brief detour over here just to see what's what. here the reach runs wide. So there's not really much over here, actually. Unfortunate. But not unexpected. Keep chugging along. I would love to be able to, like, take a detour through here and go around, but it's literally, like, Titania is surrounded by this whole wall here. So literally the only way in and out is through this little section. So God knows what kind of horrifying things I'll run into on the other side of that wall. I'm probably playing a bit safer than I could be, but then the last stream I literally did run through 3 captains who all died. And having one captain who dies isn't too bad, because you do maintain some of the stuff, but when you have 3 captains who die in quick succession, you lose a lot. Because you just keep losing stuff. So like each level that we've gained as this captain, the next captain will be, I think, a level lower. So basically you lose a level along with some money, some of your equipment and stuff like that. But then if that happens in quick succession, you keep losing those levels and you keep... Uh-oh. This is bad. Titania is under siege. Chorister bees flood its streets and petals. The thrashing of their wings is the drumbeat of apocalypse, and the people flee in panic from their mighty stingers. But there is no safe harbor and no respite. All is lost. Boy, that's not good. Help defend Titania. Plainsong drowns the lamentation and the fury in the mind. All the world joins death's hymnal. Those who proudly defy their fate, and those who beg for wretched mercy. Those who raise their arms, those who buckle their knees. The chorister hive takes the lyrics of poets yet unwritten, the unsung songs from lips now forever silent. It is only iron and fire that quietens the voice of carnage. But lo, the song ends only by its own accord. Once the nectar is gathered, the hive departs. It's lasting silence. So that can happen. The first couple times that you go to Titania, they kind of lay the groundwork of there's something very wrong, and then sometimes when you come back, it is under siege by the chorister bees. Well, let's talk about a new start. The rhapsodic mayor looks relieved to see you. Ah, Captain. Perhaps you can settle a little matter for us. We've agreed that we need to choose one style and stick with it, but... She sighs, gesturing at her fellow council members, the melancholy poet and stone-faced sculptor. Well, we find ourselves at an impasse. Your thoughts? Well, we cannot give our thoughts because we have not visited Albion, so we don't know what the Albion style is. And the Eleutherian aesthetic, we haven't visited Eleutheria, so it's not really any of our business. Well... Anyway, we're here for these seeds. Here. Oh, they're selling munitions too. Where do I need those? Oh, that's Port Prosper. Whatever. I'll take them. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna buy them all. I'll put the other ones in my bank. I'll have them for next time. We got fuel and supplies. We're good there. They always sell chorister nectar here. I think this just gets rid of our terror, so we don't really need that. I'm surprised they still have an art exhibition after being attacked by giant bees. Well, that's that. I guess I might as well hit the circus and then drop off my port reports before sliding back into New Winchester. We'll be able to get some new stuff, buy some new equipment for our locomotive. Maybe even... I don't know if we'll be able to afford a new locomotive at this point, but we'll see. It would be a pretty good upgrade. Although not all locomotives are equal. And just because you buy a new one doesn't necessarily mean it is an upgrade. How much were we hurt by the bee fatalities? So we lost 3 crew members, so we're down to 6 out of 10, which isn't great, but it's not bad. We've still got enough crew to keep things running smoothly. We won't be getting as many like negative effects from it, or like random pop-ups. There was something there. This place was a battlefield, a grave of tackities and stovepipes alike. We might be able to get some more crew members from the circus here, too. Olmir and Plenty's circus. Let's see. New arrivals at the circus. A 12% chance of success to recruit new crew members. Let's not. We can do it in New Winchester. We could get the amiable vagabond, who's another signal. For 2 sky stories. Increases hearts by 4 and veils by 4. That's mirrors and veils. I probably wouldn't end up using them. I'll leave them for now. Mr. Menagerie, we can buy new scouts from him. The scouts, I haven't really been using it that much, but the scout is the bat that we have in our equipment. We send them out to find new stuff in the unexplored territory. But unfortunately, we don't even have enough resources to buy anything else. I really want to get the Ratronaut. He's wearing a miniature sky suit, a very determined expression. Good range can find up to 3 discoveries before returning, but conveys little information about what it finds. It requires mirrors of 75 or more. Oof. Okay. Okay, so they actually have different stats. Interesting. Interesting. Let's listen to a story of things past. Mr. Menagerie gestures to the spindle of rock that anchors the circus like a stone weighing down an escaping balloon. Once we gathered here, we held our bargains and boasted of our chiefs. Our bands displayed the finest of goods. Our magnanimity was sharp as knives. All knew our worth. Then the light came. They made of our ground sport a dancing place, a laughing place. They made bargains of their own. And now, you do the same. Keep getting disconnected and I've been teleporting around the stream. Uh-oh. Things are smooth on my end. I don't have any drop frames, so I'm hoping that things are okay. I'm hoping that the VOD ends up being watchable. Alright, so we can't buy anything from Mr. Menagerie, so he will go to another city. Yeah, I guess it must just be words. Unfortunate. Where is Mr. Menagerie headed? We journey to the place of apples, where an old regent's ruin lie. That is Port Avon. I know that from a mile away. They're selling bronzewood here, but we don't need any bronzewood. But I'm gonna buy some supplies. Just to have them. And a port report before I leave. Oh, hey, we can purchase tickets to the circus again. Perfect. Speak to the ringmaster. He puts on a good face for the customers, but he's clearly troubled. The ringmaster looks relieved to see a familiar face. Oh, thank God. We've got a show to put on, and one of my biggest acts is throwing a tantrum. No. He pauses, toying with his exquisitely managed mustache as he looks you up and down. I don't suppose you've ever considered stepping into the ring yourself. Oh, here we go. Alright, big decision. Do we offer our services as a clown, a lion tamer, an acrobat, or throw one of our crew members under the bus? I have no idea what any of these entail. I've never done this before, and there's no skill check for it yet, so I don't know what this I don't know what this means. Acrobat. How hard can it be? The high wire looks considerably higher once upon it, and much thinner. By the time you finish inching across to the other side, the show is long over and everyone has left. Still, it is an achievement of sorts. The ringmaster claps you on the shoulder. Excellent. Well, terrible. Never do that again. But please, come and see me behind the tents. Gained 5 sky stories. Wow. Sweet. Go behind the tents. We are welcome everywhere. The carnies nod to you as you pass. Beyond the performers and the permanent audience, the circus is deserted. Everyone keeps to their quarters unless they're practicing the show. Despite the Calliope music, the mood back here is closer to that of a mausoleum. Visit the ringmaster's caravan. The door is open. From inside, you can hear the constant ruffling of a deck of cards. The ringmaster is sat on a fat cushion, idly shuffling a worn pack of playing cards. He smiles wearily at you. I asked the cards about you. He draws from the top of the deck, sets them on the table. They say you can help. He then places them back into the deck and bids you to shuffle and draw for yourself. The cards are the same. He smiles the same weary smile. Looks like they haven't changed their minds. The ringmaster shuffles, cuts, and deals the card. This is what work I can offer you. Accept a commission to repair the magician's props, reclaim the acrobat's twin, purchase costumes for the clown, or to post flyers for the strong woman. These are these are the cards we have: the 8 of bats, the 4 of hats, the 2 of cats, and the 6 of rats. I want this deck of cards. This is a tough one. Magician's props are in need of fixing. One of them has run away. Costumes are not for the clown, but for his pet geese, Cuddles and Ruffles. He's not funny without them, confides the ringmaster. Aw. Let's get some clown costumes for geese. His best acts require them, the ringmaster says, but they won't perform unless they are in costume, and unfortunately the geese have a habit of destroying them after a few shows. We've a friend in Port Avon who will be happy to supply us with costumes. We've the money, but not the transport. He hands him a small purse. Oh, okay. Let's talk to the clown. His bald dome shines in the lantern light. If you ignore the grease paint, he looks not unlike the bust of a Grecian philosopher. He rubs the back of his head. It's troubling to me that the show goes on, even if no one's there to watch it. He looks at you searchingly. What does he expect you to say? Alright. Recruit crew from the circus. 16% chance. Nah. Alright, so I guess at some point we gotta go back to Port Avon. For now, we'll turn in our port reports, get that cash, money, and see what we can buy in New Winchester. There's Homestead over here. A solitary settler lives in this modest homestead. She's not much of a conversationalist, but the enticing smells that waft from her kitchen are convincing. Eat or fill. Trade them some munitions for bronzewood. Let's share some gossip. We've got a ton of it. Get some supplies. Your host is desperate to hear news from New Winchester and London. The scandals, the fashions, the feuds. They listen intently and like an avaricious relative at the reading of a will. When you leave, you discover a generous bundle left on the footplate of your engine. Aw. Ow. This little section of the map is unexplored. What's over here? Nothing. Perfect. I'll go turn these port reports into the Tackities, give them, replenish that favor that we lost them from the quest that we did. And Doctor, oh, I think I might actually have to talk to the incautious driver themselves for that. Hall, deliver reports. Now have enough money to buy a better locomotive. Every locomotive supports different equipment configurations. They also vary in the amount of cargo and crew. Thank you. We had 6 port reports. Wow. Cool. So we got a lot of money. Might even be able to retire with our ambition as wealth. With how we end this captain's run, if we want to do so willingly. But we still have lots to do. Could be during staying on nature reserve or 24 hours. Let's do it. We can get those for free if we can find the mining things. Actually, let's take one of those, because we still need one for Port Prosper, I think. Yeah. One more. Let's talk to the chief engineer. Okay, there we go. I didn't actually do that last time. Let's explore the city. Oh, I guess we need to do this too. Search for the unmutable host identity. Right, thought he was. I wanted to open up a factory here a few years back. Something went wrong. There was a workers' revolt. Not been seen since. I still have no conclusive evidence as to who the amenable host is. But now let's take the incautious driver to their family doctor. While the doctor conducts her examination, the driver asks you to update their old records with their current employment. You take a moment's pleasure in the driver's ridiculous middle name and pass over the field on gender, straightforwardly crossed out. Their address was last an eyebrow-raising, prestigious New Winchester townhouse. You amend it to the name of your locomotive. Ah, the doctor says, peering into the driver's ear. A case of verdancy, a fungal colonization of the brain. Not uncommon in the Reach. You've noticed uncharacteristic impulses, changes in behavior. She eyes the driver's skysuit and scars. The driver nods. Yes, the spores root deeply in the brain. Attempts to extract them have had less than satisfactory results. I'm afraid the best prescription is to entertain them. Take them where they want to go. See the things they want to see. Typically, a little travel does the job. They'll soon lose interest. Got 1,000 experience. Let's hire on some crew for 80 bucks. Perfect. We're full up on crew. Let's talk to our incautious driver. I think we've done this already. Yeah. Old Tom's Well lies to the northwest of New Winchester. Okay. Yeah, so we did get this far in this quest. Yes, the incautious driver is officially non-binary. It is they make it entirely clear of that fact. Not right from the get-go, but once you kind of learn a little bit more about them, it's they don't beat around that bush. Okay. Now for the nitty-gritty. So if we go to the engine yard, we could upgrade to the Parseval class courser. Lightly armored, aggressive engine of the Crown and Misery Yards, able to mount a heavy weapon. She packs more punch than other engines of her size. So, I honestly don't even know if this would be an upgrade. This is kind of what I mean, that like the cheapest locomotive that you can trade yours in for is, it's 1,500 sovereigns, and you get an additional, what are these, bridge slot. So you get 2 bridge slots, which means you can equip more bridge items, but you have one fewer small weapon slot, which I think we have 2 of. But we would be able to use a heavy weapon instead. We'd lose our armor slot, which is we'd only gain another 10 health. And then the fuel efficiency would be cut. We'd lose 4 crew members and 2 cargo. So honestly, I would say it's not even worth trading in for this thing, as tempting as it is. Like, this guy would probably be the real upgrade, because it has basically the same, almost the same equipment slots that we have, plus one, which I think is, yeah, so we'd actually be able to recruit to put both a mining array and a cannery on this thing, which would be cool. It's got more health, more cargo, a little bit less crew, but that's not that big of a deal because we can buy an upgrade that lets us get more crew. And it is not significantly, but it's a decent amount less fuel efficient. Or even go for this thing, which is more heavily armored. So yeah, I think it's worth hanging on for now, saving up for 3,500 to trade our locomotive in, or just wait and go hard for the Moloch class liner for 19,000 sovereigns. I've never seen that much money in this game. Yeah, probably not worth it. But what is worth it is we have enough money to buy some decent equipment. So, all the green equipment here is actually like better than this other stuff. That is a big weapon which we can't use, so we don't want to buy that. We have that thing already. What is additional cargo bay? Amped quarters. I could equip. Okay, so right now we've got the Jerusalem cannon, which is pretty decent. I could potentially buy another one, and we'd have two of them mounted on here, which would give us 2 shots, but it would build our heat up a lot faster. The other one is rapid firing. We could also get the emanation, which is like a more rapid fire cannon. Or no, I think that one is like a, yeah, that one's like a mounted blunderbuss, so it's more like a shotgun blast. So it's kind of like the one that the crazed starfarers had, which that might be useful. Or we can get like the more rapid fire cannon. Hard to say. Rapid firing weapon popular with captains who watch volume over precision. I think I do tend to keep my distance, but having a close range weapon might be useful. So I'm gonna buy the shotgun. Our mirrors are not high enough to actually use that weapon, which sucked. Hold on. Let's see. That does 4 damage. So these, I can't afford that. But I also kind of want this thing, because that increases our movement speed and increases fuel consumption. I don't know if that increases the amount of fuel that we consume or if it makes it more efficient. I would think it makes it more efficient, because otherwise that seems like a really bad upgrade. So screw it, I'm doing that. It'll make us move faster. And we need to have at least 6+ crew for that. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Might actually buy the cramped quarters then, because that'll give us more crew. Okay, so let's equip that. Equip our weapon and our crew. Then we can sell this guy. $250. And yeah, there we are. Got that stuff in the bank. I think we don't really have anything else to do here. I guess we could recruit some more crew. Oh, we just did that. Right. That's fine. Oh, I should get some fuel and supplies before I forget. I guess I only really need 2. All right. So we've discovered Lustrum. We have done several things around the Reach. Been to Carolyn, kind of completed a couple little quests that we had. We still have a lot of quests though. We still need to go back to Lustrum for the assumed identity. Carolyn stuff. I think our main thing is to find Perturance and Hybris. So it sounds like there's still like several ports to find up in this region here. So we might head up there, but I think I might save that for the next time. This seems like a pretty good place to stop it for the evening. We've got a pretty good looking locomotive at this point. We're all kitted out as well as we could be. We're still not really that powerful, but the end goal is to try and do a bunch of stuff here, and then we'll eventually move on to London, because New Winchester has got some, basically these are the upgrades you can get from New Winchester, but if you go to London proper, you can actually get even more powerful upgrades than this, but they are much more expensive. So that is a distant dream at this point, possibly for future captains, and we'll get there eventually. We almost got to level 4. We are growing more powerful every day, every moment. That is where I am going to call it for tonight. Until next time. As always, there's all these wonderful people. We did this. As I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we did a great big charity stream last night, leading into this morning. And we raised more than $1,800. They're all great, wonderful people. Please check them out. Follow them. Follow their schedules. Figure out what's being streamed when. Normally, B Drops has got their art stream going on right now, but I know they canceled it because of the charity stream last night, so I'll probably just leave it where it is. But I know Action Shakespeare will be doing some miscellaneous stuff tomorrow, so be sure to check out her stream and see what she's up to. At this point, I don't even know. The poll is still on Twitter if you want to influence it. But thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this another adventure into the depths of the Reach, and I will see you next time.